Yes, this is where he killed himself. Okay, I won't click the fucking article. And... Oh, that was really quick. Okay. The bump against the hip. There we are. It only took me about 20 seconds. I won't cut this out. But I want to see this fucking CG. I have a suspicion as to what it is, but I don't understand how. Yeah, what is this? His eyeballs bulged and his tongue lolled out, saliva dripping down his neck. Who is this? The saliva had soaked the collar of his polo shirt and his well-cut slacks were soiled with excrement. The fuck? There was no mistaking it. It was President Koyama's corpse. How? We were standing in this fucking room. There was someone standing on this very spot just a mere minute or so ago, okay? Doesn't make any sense. I scrambled backwards on the floor, desperate to get away, and inadvertently slammed myself into the pool table. I couldn't understand. How could it be here? Clutching my head, I curled up in the fetal position under the table. Then I heard loud footsteps, and the next thing I knew, the door to the rec room flew open. Fuck, I fucking knew it. It wasn't him. It was Uchiyama-san.
Eh? Uchiyama-san? Eh?
Daigo-kun's voice shot up an octave in alarm.
何です？何があったんです？
あそこに社長の首吊り死体が。あれ？
Daigo-kun whimpered feebly.
あれ、カエさん、社長の死体は？
Timidly erased my head. Now that he mentioned it, the smell was gone too. And the other Uchiyama-san was also gone. Weird, huh? I slowly looked up at the ceiling, but the gruesome corpse was nowhere to be found. The fan wasn't moving. All that remained was a single dried stain on the floor. Oh, that's a big nani. Dumbfounded, Daigo-kun and I stared at each other for a moment as Uchiyama-san walked over.
1階をあらかた探したところでちょうど悲鳴が聞こえたもんだから慌てて上がってきたんです。
Of fucking course.
社長の首吊り死体を見ちゃったんですか?
He sounded a little overly enthusiastic. The two of us blinked back at him.
ちょっと待って。今までバーカウンターを調べてたじゃん。
I can understand why Kai is a little bit slow on the uptake, seeing as how she's just probably in shock or something. It's easier for me to put together one and one.
バーカウンター? 私が?
Uchiyama-san stared back in disbelief, and it didn't seem like an act.
じゃあ、今まで一緒にいた内山さんは?
The ghost! Daigo-kun looked over at me. All I could do was shake my head. If it wasn't Uchiyama-san, then who was it that told us all the grisly details of Koyama's death? I couldn't stop shaking.
とにかく出ましょう。これ以上こんなところにはいられない。
でも何か見つかりました？
何も見つかりませんでしたけど、俺もカエさんももう無理ですよ。
Daigo-kun walked over to me and offered a hand, which I gratefully accepted. He then turned into a ghost. As he helped me up, however, my shoulder slammed into the table, revealing a secret compartment?
あ、大丈夫。
I turned back to look at what I'd hit and noticed a section jugging out.
ちょっと待って。
I gingerly pulled on the protrusion and it swung open to reveal a little drawer. Of fucking course! Okay, this is just... Let's get some suspension of disbelief in here, okay? Otherwise I can't properly enjoy that. I heard Daigo-kun's nervous voice from behind me. I opened the drawer to find a single dusty key inside. I pulled it out and brushed away the dust. It looked eerily similar to a Châtelet Roman house key. I stood up and turned around to find the other two staring down at my hand.
間違いないでしょうね。
Uchiyama-san was the first to speak.
こんなところにしまい込んでるんだ。俺も間違いないと思いますよ。
そうだよね。
Just then, BAM! The room shook. It was no earthquake. Rather, it felt like the air itself was shifting. Oh god. You better not fucking make the ghost angry. A loud, guttural sound somewhere between a growl and a scream pierced my eardrums. I didn't care what anyone else had to say. With that, the three of us scrambled out of the Koyama house like our lives depended on it. What about Uchiyama? What does he say about this fucking creepy ghost appearance here? As we headed to the candlelight vigil to drop off Uchiyama-san, the three of us discussed our next move. Uchiyama-san asked us not to take action without him, since he'd gone out of his way to share his leads with us, so we agreed not to use the key until first thing tomorrow morning. Besides, neither of us were exactly chomping at the bit to go into that apartment at night anyway. As we pulled into the parking lot of the funeral hall, Uchiyama-san warned us again. It would be even better if you didn't sleep anywhere near that apartment complex tonight. Remember, this fucking ghost is no joke.
分かってますって。
With that, Uchiyama-san wandered off into the funeral hall, shooting us furtive glances as he left. I shifted the car into gear. Just then, I heard a tap on my window. I looked over to find a familiar young man standing there. As I rolled down my window, trying to remember where I'd seen him, he started to speak. Now I remembered. It was Koichi-kun, Shuko's boyfriend.
内山さんと出てたのよ。光一くんこそなんで？
Dressed in various shades of black, Koichi-kun looked exhausted. He sighed.
会社の人が亡くなりまして、安藤さんってうちのライターなんですけどね。
あ、そうか。光一くんもミスティ出版に行ったんだっけ？内山さんに聞いたけど大変そうね。
はい。そうじゃなくても最近うちの会社に関連してる人が立て続けに亡くなってて。
それは大変ね。
My throat felt unpleasantly itchy for some reason. Maybe there was more to this than I thought. Did Shoko know about what happened today? As I contemplated this, Koichi-kun looked up in alarm.
じゃあすいません。そろそろ行かなきゃいけないんで。
うん、わかった。光一くん、気をつけてね。
ありがとうございます。
Yeah, be careful not to fucking die, Koichi. He bowed politely, then dashed off in a hurry. I watched him go, then pulled out of the parking lot. Only to hear later that Koichi-kun has been dead for 2 years already and I was speaking to a ghost. No? Okay. It was already nearly dusk by the time we got home. The dim light of the setting sun afforded the complex a quiet sense of foreboding. Daigo-kun hopped out of the car and heaved a sigh. Fuck me. If even Daigo is scared like that. Was he referring to Koyama's corpse or Uchiyama-san's doppelganger? Neither option was particularly pleasant. Looking up at the apartment building, I sighed too. Then I fished Koyama's secret key out of my pocket and compared it to my own house key. Does it look that weird? There was no guarantee it was actually a key to 202. Part of me hoped it was, but another part of me sincerely hoped it wasn't. Since we'd gone to all that trouble to obtain it, I hoped it would be the key, literally, to learning the truth. But at the same time, I was terrified of finding out. No! No! Don't! Can't you fucking remember what Uchiyama-san said? The last thing he told you was to not to act individually. Before I knew it, Daigo-kun was standing next to me, peering over my shoulder at the key in my hand. Exactly. He wore his usual easygoing expression. Fuck me, Daigo is actually working for the ghost, isn't he? Jesus, the memory of that ghostly pale hand flashed through the back of my mind. Probably, yeah.
じゃあ俺が一人で行きます。それならいいでしょ。
Fuck off. No, just fucking hide the key for now. This dude is off his tits. Why does he want to go in there so desperately now?
よくないわよ。
As I lost my temper, Daigokun suddenly glanced across the parking
大家
lot.
さんが見てる。
Yeah, fuck her too. The next moment I heard the sound of a window sliding shut from the direction of the landlady's house. Was she keeping tabs on us? So what? What would that change? I just hope the fucking ghost kills her. No, I was just overthinking it. Or so I hoped. Anyway.
行こう。また俺が鍵を刺すから。
Why did we get roped into this now? Daigokun plucked the key from my palm. He is clearly obsessed. I'm 100% sure that this dude is obsessed, and I was right earlier with my Uchiyama-san call. Deja vu. He promptly headed into the building, and I hastily followed after him.
本当に入らないのよね。
He will fucking lock us in, won't he?
さすがにその勇気は出ないでしょ。
Not after what we'd seen. Sure, he didn't say it, but I knew that was what he meant. No, I think he's lying. He strode past my apartment and stopped in front of the door to 202. The crimson light of the sunset streamed into the hall, just as it had when we investigated 203. Over his shoulder, the sky was painted a vivid scarlet.
じゃあ刺すよ。
ねえ、怖くないの？
I felt like I'd asked that question 100 times by now, and I knew he'd probably say the same thing, but I had to ask. I had to. Daigokun put the tip of the key against the keyhole, then stopped and looked at me for a long moment. That's kinda sexy.
カエさんはどうして俺と一緒にいるの？
Because she fucking trusts you, you retard. It was an entirely unexpected question, and I found myself at a loss for words. Instead, I simply stared down at the key in his hand.
怖いなら俺を置いていけばいい。そうでしょ。
This reads and sounds just like one big euphemism, you know. He had a point. I could run away at any time. He would probably let me take this house key even.
それでもここにいるのは知りたいからでしょ。
All I could do was shake my head. No, he was completely right. Why is he so hell-bent on solving it right now? He can't wait until tomorrow morning?
自分が置かれた理不尽な状況をあやふやにしたくない。できれば解決したい。
Earlier he said he doesn't even... Fuck me. Just stop talking for now, Daigo. Earlier he said he doesn't even want to return home, and now he suddenly wants to get in there. No matter what. I watched as the key slid into the lock with a loud click. But for some reason, Daigokun couldn't seem to turn it.
あれ？
回らないの？
It's not turning, no. In response to my question, he jiggled the key over and over. The lock rattled, but refused to budge. Instantly, I heaved a sigh of relief and felt the tension drained from my body.
ここの鍵じゃなかったんだ。
Oh, believe me, it is. It is, but he just did something wrong or something.
みたいだね。やれやれ。
Looking conflicted, Daigokun pulled the key from the lock and began to toss it into the air, catching it in his palm.
案外隣の部屋の鍵だったりしてね。
まさか。
What?
だってここのアパートの鍵には似てるでしょ。
His tone had lightened considerably, and I felt a small smile creep up on my lips.
ちょっと刺してみようかな。
Wait, are you telling me he's gonna try it on her door now? Jokingly, he walked over to 203.
やめなさいって。どうせ開かないんだから。
Sure enough, the lock rattled in place, and Daigokun slumped his shoulders, no dice. And then he tries on 201. Yeah. And you can tell me whatever the fuck you want, but if he wasn't obsessed, he would never do a joke like that. Because if it turns out to be true, that's just the creepiest fucking thing ever. And we would find out that she was actually in the apartment that... Oh my god. I don't know. And he would have no reason to try it on 2 doors. Oh, maybe it fits for another door. Let's just fucking try, huh? Let's be fucking creepy. No.
開いたら笑い話だね。
Yeah, wouldn't it be fucking wild, Daigo, you absolute asshole?
だから開かないってば。
It's going to. Chuckling, he inserted the key. And then the key turned and the lock clicked open. Damn.
どういうこと？
I dashed over to the door to double check. Daiko-kun turned the key back and forth, locking and unlocking the door. Had I given him the wrong key by mistake, that would be a big oops. I dug in my pocket and pulled out my keyring with my house key still attached.
この鍵201のだったんだ。
I wonder why. But Daiko-kun didn't respond. Instead, he pulled the key out of the lock, slipped it into his pocket, and walked into my... Why? Walked into my apartment.
大吾くん！
I called out to him, but he didn't stop, because he's fucking obsessed. And possessed. He's both. He kicked his shoes off at the door, then headed into the main room and chased after him. I chased after him even. Meanwhile, he headed straight for the balcony. Once outside, he crouched down beside the partition wall where I'd previously witnessed that ghastly hand.
ねえ大吾くん、どうしたの？
いや、ちょっと確かめたいことがあったんだけど。やっぱりだ。
Out on the balcony, the twilight was fading into dusk. I moved behind Daiko-kun and watched his hands move. He pressed ever so slightly against the lower half of the wall, and it swung open like a door. Okay.
もしかして隠し通路？
My fear forgotten appeared through the opening into 202's balcony. I hadn't noticed the hinges on the bottom half of the partition until just now. How would he know about this? Why would he go straight through there and just immediately pick up on this? He's getting more suspicious by the minute, you know. Oh my god, fuck me, that scared me. Out of nowhere, something struck the window and I let out a shriek.
Kai-san!
Daiko-kun immediately peered through the opening with me and froze. A woman was pressed up against the glass. She looks nice though. I couldn't make out most of her face, but I could see her mouth, twisted in a furious snarl. Her hair was a tousled mess, and she slammed both hands against the pane like she was trying to break it. Together we scrambled out of 201 and into the hall. As he moved to close the door, he looked over at 202 and sucked in a breath. What happened? He began to shake and I quickly followed his gaze. The door's open. What? Yep, the door to 202 was open and long strands of hair were flowing out from inside. The fuck is happening? I couldn't see the woman herself, just strands of wavy hair fluttering peacefully in the wind. That was all it took to strike terror into my heart.
大吾くん。
Daiko-kun flinched as I called his name. Then he grabbed my hand and together we dashed up the stairs to the 3rd floor without even locking my door. Behind us we heard the sound of a door closing. What?
なんだよ。あれ。なんなんだよ。
Why did it freak out like that even? Why did it open its own door? But I didn't dare speak until we were safely inside 301, door locked and chained.